Everybody, welcome back to episode 68 of Sammy and Marissa's Husbands. How you doing?
Good man. Another day. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Well, you're listening to this is probably Super Bowl Monday, which should be a holiday. We got to get that shit together. Come on, Trump. Um, but yeah, so Super Bowl Sunday. Do you got any big plans for the game?
My aunt is doing a little party at her house, but I'm going to Bert's place and me, him, Marissa, maybe my cousin Austin are gonna come over.
Nice.
Chicken.
Chicken wings. Okay. We talking grilled, smoked, fried?
I'm assuming fried. They're from this place called Smokin' Jimmy's.
I was under the assumption you were making the chicken wings.
If I were to make them, they would have been like if Bert was to make them, they would be smoked.
Okay.
He's got like that green egg and he also has a Traeger.
Nice. Nice. Yeah,
Um,
I
yeah.
chicken wings are good. It just like I don't have a smoker, because that's definitely how I would make them as well. But doing them like in the oven and then trying to like re-grill them or something like that just takes so much time and effort.
Yeah, it's honestly I like them baked though. You ever do them in the oven?
I have done them in the oven. I just like I want them to get crispy and like finding that sweet spot to where they're not burnt to shit and have no flavor, but they're still a little crispy on the outside is tough, and you really got to monitor them in the oven. And frankly, I just don't got time for that today.
All flats extra crispy every time.
Classic, classic beat ups. Me and Sam went to this spot yesterday. Actually, um, I'm pretty sure it's just called Smoke, but it's like a bar restaurant, like a barbecue spot, but they actually have like good cocktails and big selection of beers. And we actually went just because yes, this week's been so nice weather wise, and they had their like garage door, like they have these like bay garage doors, and they had them open, so it was almost like you were sitting like on a patio. So we sat there, got a couple drinks, and we're just people watching. And then we wanted an appetizer, and they had like one of their options for an appetizer was like eight wings. We got it was like apple bourbon barbecue wings, and they were smoked. Like you could tell that these people know what they're doing. Like the chicken wings were like literally falling off the bone every time you took a bite. They were honestly top three wings I've ever had in my life.
That's bold.
Bold but true.
But now I'm gonna put you on the spot. What are the other two?
Good question.
Table it, come back to
Table it and come back to it. Okay. They might be number one. uh,
it.
um, but yeah, that shit was good. But just kind of getting into the agenda, we'll talk obviously athlete segment. Talk some Super Bowl Sunday, some NBA trades, a little bit of diet and workouts, some Trump tariffs, this little situation that happened. That's going to be kind of funny to tell. Random questions, Pat's peeves, and closing comments. So if you want to jump into or not athlete segment, be my guest.
All right, so this is the athlete segment. So I'm gonna do it a little different because it's Super Bowl Sunday. Going back to the year 2014, so we'll go back 10 years. Can you name five Super Bowl MVPs, but you can't repeat?
Shit. Probably not. Okay, going back to so we have to start at 2014.
Yeah, you don't have to name all of them, but just
Right.
in between 2014 and last year. And I can give you the winning team. I'm willing to do that because
Okay.
some of these are still hard.
Okay. All right. So obviously Pat Mahomes.
It's one. He's won three, so you can't use him again.
Yep, can't use him again. Nick Foles win Super Bowl MVP.
He did.
Okay, 2014. So I know the Broncos beat the Panthers in 2015. So
That's 2016.
it's 2016. So okay,
That was
2016.
probably the 2015 season,
Okay, that
2016.
makes sense. That makes sense because yeah, Cam won. MVP, I thought, in 2015.
I think you're right.
But it doesn't matter. Regardless, that Super Bowl, I believe it's either Peyton or Von Miller.
Von Miller.
Von Miller? All right, we'll take that.
That's three.
Um, okay, that's three. I just need five.
Well, at this you got the hard ones. I think so. At this point, you might as well name them all.
Okay, so
You've got
got to go Brady. Brady's in there.
Brady's in there in 21
Yeah.
and 2017 and 2015.
Okay. Um, so who am I missing? 2014.
2014, 2019, 2022.
Okay. 2022 was the year before. Was that Eagles?
That's Rams and
Rams, so that's Stafford.
no,
No. Had to be offensive player or Aaron Donald.
no, no to Aaron Donald.
No to Aaron Donald, so it was an offensive player. Uh 22 Cup wasn't, it wasn't Cup. Um
You're wrong. It was Cup.
it was Cup?
In possibly the best season a receiver's ever had.
Interesting. For some reason I didn't think
He's the
22.
he's the only person to lead the league in
That
catches,
was,
receptions,
yeah, that was that year. Okay.
touchdowns, and win Super Bowl MVP. Jerry Rice has done all those things, but not in the same season.
Not in the same season. Okay. All right. Well, got my five, right?
You got your five. You're missing 2019. Well, hold on. Pat Mahomes, Foles, Von Miller, Brady. I'm not giving you Cup because you said no to Cup.
Yeah, it's not Cup. I didn't get that one.
So you got four. So you need 2019 or 2014.
Okay. One of them's got to be the Giants. I'm going Eli.
Wrong.
Ah, he was before that?
Yeah, 2012 and 2008.
Damn.
Also, he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, in my opinion.
Steelers in there? Steelers win one?
No, the last one they won was 2009.
Who the fuck won in 2019? I don't know. 2014, 2019.
2014 was the Patriot, or excuse me, 2014 was the Seahawks. 2019 was the Patriots, and it's not Tom Brady.
19 Pats, not Tom. That was,
That was the worst Super Bowl of all time.
is that the Atlanta?
No,
That was the Seahawks?
no, that was the Rams.
Yeah, if it's not Tom, I'm just gonna be guessing random people on offense. Um, the Seahawks one, let's just send it with Russ
No,
and Marshawn.
no,
What?
it's a linebacker.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Can't think of his name.
So if you don't get these last two, do you have to shotgun a beer?
No, because I'm pretty sure I got five already.
We'll go through them.
Okay. I got
You got
Mahomes, Foles, Brady, um,
Von Miller.
Von Miller. And I swear I said one other.
You said it's not Cooper Cup, and then I had to jump in and
I don't know. Well, all I got is a bottle and it's three-quarters of the way drank. So not shotgun a beer either way.
weak.
Also, the rule is you have to give me three hints for me to have to shotgun a beer. So you cheated basically.
You want me to tell you who they are?
Yeah.
Julian Edelman in 2019.
Is that not the year they played the Falcons?
No, that was 2017.
See, that makes more sense for Julian Edelman to have won because he had that crazy ass catch.
2019 was the Super Bowl. It was like 13-9 or 13-10.
Yeah. Okay.
Fucking terrible game.
Yeah.
2014 was Malcolm Smith.
That's the Seahawks guy, Malcolm Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, then no chance I would have known that one.
I would have thought Bobby Wagner, but I don't.
That's kind of where I was going, but I could not think of his name. Malcolm Smith. Yeah,
Shout out Malcolm Smith.
shout out. Um, all right, yeah. So Super Bowl. Super Bowl is always fun. NFL playoffs are just a good time. Um, do you do anything like kind of traditions like with your family? You guys make certain snacks, do kind of certain rituals, anything like that?
We do the Super Bowl squares every year,
Yeah,
and I've the past 2 years been in charge of selling the squares.
right.
$10 a square, $125 payout for the first and third quarters, 250 for halftime, and 500 for the final score.
That's what's
And
up.
for people who don't know, the way that works is it's a grid, and the numbers correlate to the last number in the score. So if you have 1 for the Chiefs and 4 for the Eagles, if it's 21-14 at the end of a quarter, you win.
Yeah. So there's like some
Multiple ways.
strategy for it,
You don't
but
get to pick your squares though.
oh, really?
No, because then everybody would just buy the good numbers.
Yeah, I thought for some reason you got to pick squares. I
You
think
can
that,
pick like if it's numbered 1 through 100 because there's 100 squares.
yeah.
You can people do it like that where you sell a certain number, like say, hey, I want 33.
Uh-huh.
You don't know how it's going to correlate because you don't do the random draw until you have the whole board
Board
filled.
filled. Interesting.
So it's completely random, but it's convenient. I got really good numbers this year, but I sent out pictures before.
Sure, dude.
I sent out pictures before I did the draw and after, and people are like, "Oh," because I got 1 and 4. I got 0-0, which is great.
Yeah.
Um, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough. That's tough. It's always hard. It's kind of like being the commissioner that gets the first pick in the draft.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. No, it's not. You're never gonna make anybody happy.
no, you never
And
will.
and a lot of times people who do this, they take a percentage
Oh,
just for doing it, which I don't. I don't take
that's
a
a
percent.
yeah, interesting.
I mean,
Um,
I've let people know, I've said to a couple people, make sure I get my taste if you win. But who knows if they'll actually.
I wouldn't. Fuck, it's not
I
that
would
goddamn
either if
hard.
somebody said that shit to me.
But yeah, me and Sam are just we've kind of made it our ritual that we just kind of stay home, um, make some like fun food, nothing too crazy. We're doing like buffalo chicken dip and then like some chili stuff. So kind of like football food and just easy. But yeah, it's like, I don't want to go out and watch the game at somebody else's house. Like I just want to like be in a comfortable space where I can sit on the couch, drink some beers, eat some good food, and then, we got to wake up and go to work in the morning. So, you but I we've talked about my chat GPT sports bets. So I kind of have been talking through it and prompting it in different ways to talk about different things. And I think what I've came to the conclusion of is I'm doing Kelsey anytime touchdown, Mahomes over 28 and a half rushing yards, and total score over 48 and a half. There's some other ones that I liked,
I
like
think total score over is probably going to hit. I think the NFL wants it to be a shootout anyway.
yeah.
Uh,
Um
what was the rushing yards for Mahomes?
28 and a half.
That's right there in that weird spot.
It's
They said
it's
over or
yeah,
under.
over.
Mm,
It's in
I
that
don't
weird
like that
spot,
one.
but I think, the Chiefs running game kind of been struggling. I could see him on some big third downs, getting out of the pocket. I mean, that's two. All it, I think it hits. I got a feeling it's gonna hit, and I see Kelsey catching a touchdown. I really liked.
Kelsey's definitely catching a touchdown, I think.
Yeah, I think so too, and I really liked. It also said Saquon over 106 rushing yards, but the app that I use like bumped it up to like 111. So I didn't want to take that one. I did like that one a lot. Also, another one that's kept popping up is Hurts anytime touchdown, not passing.
Yeah.
And with them doing the tush push and stuff like that, I think that definitely could happen. Um,
Drew had a couple interesting ones. He did a parlay. Um, Kelsey over 6.5 receptions.
yeah, I like that one too.
Um, D Hop over 1.5, which I like that one too because I think they're gonna get D Hop involved. I mean, the guy's a legend.
Yeah, but they
So
fucking haven't any any other games.
I know that's the tough one. He only had one catch last game. And then he had Isaiah Pacheco under 1.5 catches.
Yeah, I like that. He doesn't catch the ball, so I
Yeah.
think that's a good pick.
I
Um,
think the last one was Saquon over 2.5 catches.
Catches. Um, I could see that. Truthfully, I think the Eagles should beat the shit out of the Chiefs, right? Like,
I think the Chiefs are fucking pretenders. I've been saying that all year. I mean, it's tough to say they're 15-1 or 15-2 and made the Super Bowl, but
yeah, I mean, but like, you're talking on paper, the Eagles are way better offensive line, way better defense. Their running game is should be unstoppable. Saquon should rush for 300 rushing yards. But what I think is going to happen is I think they're going to get cute. I think they're going to start throwing the ball. I think they're going to start like trying to have Hurts be the MVP. And
he will be the MVP if they fucking just if Saquon rushes for under 200 yards and they win, Hurts will be the MVP.
dude, who cares about the MVP?
I mean, Super Bowl is eternal glory.
Yeah.
I'm still surviving on 1969. So,
Yeah. Speaking of 1969, what kind of memories you have growing up of Super Bowls? The
okay.
answer is none.
Yeah, none with my team. Cunt. My first memory of the Super Bowl is 2003, I believe, with Raiders Bucks.
I
It's
remember
my
that
first the
Super
first
Bowl,
Super Bowl
yeah.
I remember watching.
I think you froze on me for a second.
Did you get any of that?
Raiders Bucks first Super Bowl you remember watching.
Yep.
That's yep, that's where we're at.
Yep. Okay, cool. I'm not going to edit any of that out, or maybe I will. I don't know.
It's
We'll
a good
see.
thing we don't do video because your face was ugly.
Well, I can't help that. I think that's
Yeah,
got something. It's got something to do with your camera.
and that's God given, baby.
Well, he giveth and he taketh, if you know what I'm saying. Well, for me, he just tooketh. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, worst Super Bowl I remember watching was I alluded to earlier was Patriots Rams. That was an awful Super Bowl. Best Super Bowl I remember watching was probably Patriots Falcons. We watched that at Clear Run.
Yeah. That would be my pick too. That was exciting.
That was a crazy game. Um, and I also watched the Panther. I remember the Panthers Super Bowl. I'll let you talk more about that, but I watched that with Drew at his aunt's house.
The one against the Broncos.
Yeah.
That was terrible. That may be the worst Super Bowl for me just because of how embarrassing it was. Um, we also went to the Super Bowl in 2004, the year after that Raiders Broncos, not Raiders Broncos, Raiders Bucks, and we played the Patriots. Uh, Patriots won, obviously. Panthers haven't won the Super Bowl, but Adam Vinatieri kicked a last second game winning field goal, uh, as he's done over and over and over. Um, and then obviously we lost to the Broncos, in which I thought it was 2015, but I guess it was 2016. Which that makes sense. Start of the new year, whatever. We just got embarrassed by the Broncos, and I'm pretty sure I thought it was Cam Newton's MVP year, but that year also could have been the year before. Um, Even though he didn't play like it, he fumbled the ball. I don't even know how many times. That's why Von Miller won the Super Bowl MVP. Um, but yeah, that's kind of what I remember about Super Bowls. Obviously, I remember all those going. We always went to my aunt's house. Had all the fun snacks and all that stuff. But yeah, Super Bowl Sunday is a good event. Good event.
What I'm thinking it was 2007. I'm thinking it was Colts Bears. Devin
Yep.
Hester opening kickoff return.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I remember that vividly. I vividly remember watching the 2008 Super Bowl at my aunt's house with my Uncle John, who's a huge Giants fan. Uh, Crazy.
Which one was that? The the catch on the helmet?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's still absurd.
David Tyree.
Yeah, Manning's never lost. Well, not Manning, but Eli Manning has never lost a Super Bowl.
He's one of only 6 people with multiple Super Bowl MVPs. So,
Pretty wild. And
and
I do think there's something that happened. I believe somebody owes Drew some money.
I already paid him.
I already paid him.
And the other person who owes Drew money may or may not have paid him. He does a great track record of paying people. So, uh,
Oh man.
I
But
mean, it's insane that he hasn't listened to one episode.
don't hold your breath on that payment, buddy.
Yeah.
That's pretty
That's,
funny.
yeah. I honestly am shocked that he didn't make it first ballot.
I am too, actually.
When you look at
Um,
his numbers and then the weight of the Manning name,
mhm.
I'm absolutely shocked. But also, Luke Kuechly didn't make it.
Yeah, gypped.
That's another one where maybe you're like his career's not long enough to get in as a first ballot.
Right.
There was somebody else who didn't make it who I thought probably should have. But I mean, the people who did make it, Antonio Gates, well deserved.
Deserved. Yep.
Sterling Sharp, who,
Yep. Shannon's brother.
yeah, I mean, he was a great player, but a lot of that I think also is kind of
Yeah.
what he would have been able to do.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the best receiver in the league while he was in the league.
Right.
So I
Also,
mean,
did you see that? Did you see that clip where Shannon presented the award to him?
I did not.
Oh man, it was emotional. Shannon was emotional, then Sterling got emotional, and that was pretty cool. I mean, being able to do that like for your brother, especially like for your big brother, like Shannon's the younger brother, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was a pretty cool clip. But
The two other guys who got in, Eric Allen, who was in the secondary of the Eagles. I'm not sure if he was a safety or cornerback though. And then Jared Allen
interesting, Vikings
from the Vikings. Yeah,
this wasn't his first time.
I don't think it was. I don't think he's first ballot.
He shouldn't have been, even if he was. I mean, he was a great player, but first ballot, I don't think. I mean, he was great. I don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think. I mean, he did well. First of all, he finished second in Defensive Player of the Year one year after having 22 sacks in the season, which is fucking insane.
That is insane.
He didn't win. At least 11 sacks in 6 seasons, 12th all time with 136 career sacks. Allen has this distinction of being tied for the most safeties in NFL history.
That's pretty wild.
Only it's 4, but that's crazy.
He was not first ballot. He became eligible in 2021, and he was not inducted that year.
His 4th year.
Yeah, which is still pretty impressive.
I don't think there's any stipulations with the NFL that you have to maintain a certain number of votes or get in within a certain number of years. That's the fucking stupidest thing with the Baseball Hall of Fame, that
Yeah,
you don't get a certain number of votes on your
they
first ballot,
remove you.
ineligible, and I think you only have 10 years to make it anyway, which is
Yeah,
fucking dumb. There's a lot of
yeah, I
things
don't
wrong
like
with
that.
There's a lot of things wrong. It's not a baseball season. I'm not gonna get started on that.
All right. Well, before we move on from football, give me your prediction. I need score and winner.
Eagles 24, Chiefs 20. They're gonna go for a 2-point conversion. They're not gonna get it at some point.
I like that.
24-20 Eagles. MVP. I know I was just saying Hurts was going to win it, but I'm going MVP Saquon. Orange Gatorade. Anthem under 120.
120 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like all of those, except I'm going 31-30, last second touchdown drive by Mahomes. They're down 28-30. They kick a field goal to win. Mahomes Super Bowl MVP, purple Gatorade, Anthem over No, Anthem under, excuse me, 120 seconds.
So you're telling me Harrison get back in the kitchen, bitch, Butker is going to kick the game-winning field goal?
Yep.
All right,
And
that's his name.
his wife's gonna come out and be wearing a kitchen apron for the press conference.
I'm just kidding, bro. It's a joke, bro. But also, what the fuck are you gonna do? Shout out Harrison Butker, great kicker.
Yeah, maybe we'll get him on next week after he kicks a game winning field goal
Kicks
to win the
game
Super
winning
Bowl.
kill goal. I just killed goal. And I just said he was a woman hater, which may or may not have been verified. Could all just be conjecture.
I don't think he hates women. He just hates when they're not in the kitchen.
He hates when they have opinions.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good. And if we're being quite honest, I don't know if I like when they have opinions.
I don't like when you have opinions. Oh man.
Well, we had a
All
good
right.
run of 68 episodes, and now we're done.
And canceled. Well, people have to listen for us to get canceled, so
Imagine if we got canceled by the 6 people that listen.
we had to say something really fucked up if that happened.
To get Mike to stop listening, I'd have to mutilate a child on screen.
Oh man. Oh, that's good stuff. All right, let's move on. Let's talk a little NBA. So I don't have much to talk about, except I do want to talk about this Mark Williams trade that got rescinded. I feel like that kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't. And since it's past the trade deadline, the deal can't be reworked.
Yeah.
So Connect and Cam Reddish come back. Mark Williams goes back to the fucking shit show in Charlotte. And then the picks, it's like that never happened. The picks just go back.
Yep.
I'm curious what they found because
Yeah.
I haven't come out and said what they found, right?
I haven't seen what they found. I did see that it wasn't related to his back, which is the injury he's dealing with right now.
So he must have some underlying issue. Maybe he got an MRI. They saw something they didn't like.
I mean, the thing is with this physical, they've probably done all kinds of blood work, all stuff that he hasn't done probably since like the combine. So, there's a lot of time for stuff to develop. And I don't know. It had to have been some development or like growth issue that he had that they thought was gonna keep him out for some more significant time. That sucks though, to be honest.
I hate it for him, and I hate it for LA because that was what they needed. They needed a big guy. Now, and this is no shade to Jackson Hayes, but I don't know if he's prepared to take on that role.
He's not. I think he's gonna improve a lot.
I mean, he's a great rim runner. He's a good rebounder, athletic as fuck. I mean, he has the ability to be a really good, solid starter.
He has
But
the ability to be a good starter in the NBA, but he doesn't have the ability to be like part of a big three to win a championship in the next few years.
no, he would have to take. I mean, his offensive game isn't developed enough for that.
No, and he's not enough of like he's an athletic freak, yes, but he's not enough of a physical presence. Like Mark Williams is a big dude.
And Jackson Hayes, great hands around the rim.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's a perfect guy to bring off your bench
Yes.
for Williams.
100%.
You don't lose your energy levels go up. It could have something to do with Mark Williams conditioning too.
Could. Maybe he has asthma.
Asthma.
Yeah, so what I want to know is what happened to Christian Wood?
Is he still on the Lakers?
He's still on the Lakers. Why isn't he in 2020? I think it was 2020. He averaged like 21 and 9 for Houston.
Yeah, no, I mean he's good at basketball, and he was a very good fantasy basketball player too.
Yeah. Efficient.
I did not know that he was still on the Lakers.
Yeah, he's just getting no burn. I mean, he might be hurt, but like I know he has been playing and just not really, he's not playing effective minutes.
It is strange, but that happens a lot to guys who come and play with LeBron, and I don't think it has anything to do with LeBron. I think they shrink. Like Gabe Vincent was outstanding last year,
Yeah.
Miami, and he just hasn't been as efficient as he was. He's picked up his play though recently, and then another guy who kind of fell out of the rotation is Jared Vanderbilt. He was a big part of the rotation last year
Yeah, he was.
and great defender.
So
And
Christian Wood is sidelined to a left knee injury and has not made his season debut yet. So
okay.
he hasn't really played this year at all.
I apologize for what I said. I don't think I said anything bad, but I'm sorry, Christian, in case you ever come on here.
I don't think so, but he's been with the team. I mean, he's been there since I honestly want to say 2021. Hold on. No, 2023. He signed with the team September 6th, 2023. Um, and right now, no clear timetable for a return. But like he should be an effective, like having him at the 4, Jackson Hayes at the 5, LeBron at the 3.
You think he can play the 4? I mean, I know he can stretch.
I think I would prefer him at the 4. I think just for sheer size and then go big. I know that's not really how the NBA trends, but I think for what the Lakers need, like they need to play a little bully ball, I think, especially if they're going to slow it down. Like Luka and LeBron, like they play slow unless there's a clear fast break.
Yeah.
Just controlling the pace of the game. I wish there was a better shooter than Austin Reeves. I really like Austin Reeves, but I'd like him better if he was a 6 man off the bench coming in and kind of just get busy.
Yeah, do you see what he did the other night?
Yeah, he went crazy.
Yeah, he's fucking good. He's really shifty. Not as good
He
of a
is.
shooter as I want for a color for a excuse me,
Oh,
color
what?
for a,
Oh,
for a play for a play complexion is what I meant to say. I want that white boy with a higher percentage, you know what I'm saying? Uh,
Yeah. I think Connect, I hated to see Connect go because I do like him and I think he's gonna be a good player. But in order to get Mark Williams, I understand why we had to get rid of Connect. Um,
and Cam Reddish is a guy, if he had a bigger role, he'd be better.
I think so. You got to get him his confidence back because that dude can score the basketball.
Yeah, I mean, he can really light it up. And he's a got the body to be a really good defender. He's super long.
Balls.
Um, I don't know. After I said Cam Reddish was long, my brain fried.
Yeah. So I'm just interested to see where they're going to go because right now they can't make any moves until the offseason. I mean, in reality, they're not going to win the championship this year. Um, would I have wanted to play them in the playoffs if they had LeBron, Luka, and Mark Williams? I probably wouldn't have. Even if they got in a really low seed, played in the play-in game, whatever it may be, I wouldn't have wanted to play them if I was a different team.
I still wouldn't want to play them. I mean, they're the 5 seed right now, so we're looking at if things trend the way they are, avoiding the play-in entirely, which is good with this current roster.
Yeah.
Um, and Luca is, I think, going to go crazy. I don't think we're going to be able to defend anybody or rebound at all.
Mm-mm.
But scoring, most points wins the fucking game.
That's true. I mean, Luke is a top 6 offense by himself.
Yeah, and Jesus Christ, the kid had a couple Cheetos and a beer, and the Mavs let him go for. Listen, I love AD, but he's an aging superstar, and he already fucking tweaked some shit first game.
Yeah. He's tweaked shit every game, though. He's been day to day every single game of the season.
I looked at because I'm playing you, and you have Anthony Davis,
Mm-hmm.
and Jake Stinnett called me on the phone. We're talking about men's league this year, because he didn't play last year. He was wondering if I needed a second hand, and I do, because Drew ain't been worth a fuck since 2018.
Too much Burger King.
JK, bro, too much Burger King. You know that's right, babe. It's
He's
actually
like,
church. It's church's chicken with him.
oh, shit.
I put him on that, and now he's had it way more than I ever had it.
Oh, man.
But
He's trying to get that Austin Reeves bounce to his game.
Jake called me, and we're talking for a second, and he mentioned AD's going crazy in the first half. I look at my phone, 26, 11, 3 blocks in the first half. I'm like, what in the fuck?
I knew he was going to go crazy.
But
Just
he got
because
hurt.
I think he had a point to prove. Like he was like, you know what, I'm still the guy. I'm gonna go here in this first game and I'm gonna go crazy. And as he should, like I think he should have a point to prove a little bit.
And he's been great all year.
Yeah, I mean, for me, imagine because 80 is more of a 4, like a natural 4.
Oh yeah.
If we would have
That's what got
traded,
him shipped out of LA. He asked for some help and they said, go fuck yourself.
yeah, if we would have gotten Mark Williams when 80's still around, I think that would have been an insane pickup too. I don't know why
I
we couldn't have done that.
I think that's a better move. Obviously, I understand the Luca move for the future.
Yeah.
But if you want to win right now, you put Mark Williams next to AD and you give them the same package that you gave them before. Connect Cam Reddish and pick swaps.
Right.
And now you have Mark Williams, AD front court, Jackson Hayes coming off the bench.
Hmm.
That team could contend for a championship.
I agree. Yeah.
But what the fuck do I know, Rob Palenka?
I mean, it is hard because you get that call offering, Luka Doncic, 25 years old, arguably best player in the league right now. Sure, he's got a little weight to him. I think honestly, it wasn't the weight and the conditioning that the Mavs were worried about solely. I think it was the contract, mixed in with some conditioning issues, being like, all right, can we trust him to get paid this exorbitant amount of money when we offer him this because the rules change and the table, I think that they call it like the second table or second shelf or whatever they're calling it, where they can, I mean, he was gonna be making like an absurd amount of money.
I
Um,
mean, with him being traded, I think he leaves $119 million on the table for a potential supermax. So I
yeah,
don't think he's eligible for a supermax anymore.
right.
But also, what if he doesn't want to resign in LA?
Yeah,
Then you fuck yourself for the future and then next year you lose Braun
yeah,
and then you suck again.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. For the Lakers' future, I think if they could solidify a superstar like Luca, obviously it's a no-brainer for them. And then to pair him with a young center that has superstar potential is where their minds were heading. It just didn't work out like that. So I'm interested to see, where the season goes and when Luka gets in there, how the dynamic really works.
It's going to be fun to watch. I think their first game together is tomorrow. Luca's
Is he
expected
playing
to make
tomorrow?
it tomorrow. Yeah,
I think they were hoping he was going to play on Saturday. They started national televising every single Lakers games in hopes that he was gonna play, but
I heard that. I saw a tweet when it was like Adam Silver wants Luka Doncic. I'll give him Luka Doncic, and it's like uh, Austin Reeves with a skull cap and a cigarette.
That's funny. I also saw well, this last thing before we go to a commercial, but one of the Lakers like equipment guys was on the court like helping with pregame shoot around, and he's a white guy, kind of fat, and they're like, "Damn, Luca really did get fat," but he's like just an equipment manager with like a
Oh,
comb
that's
over,
fucked up. That's fucked up.
and it low key kind of looks like him. You have to like really zoom in, but
I mean, fat white Eastern European that could be fucking 90% of the world.
yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, well let's go to a commercial break and then pop right back in. So we'll be back.
Hey, everybody, are you looking for a really good stream in fantasy basketball? Dennis Schroeder. Think about it.
All right, and we're back. I thought about it actually, and he got me 4 points and a loss to you this week. So I thought I was going to make my run, take the league by storm, and end up winning the league. Obviously, that didn't happen. My team played
You,
okay.
well, you were eliminated from the playoffs before this week even started.
Yeah, no, it's done. It's done. There's a reason my team is the Nash Cheeks.
Good times.
Yeah, but I did have Gary Trent, who was a good stream, got me 19. I picked him up, and then I'm gonna butcher this name,
I got it. Oche Agbai.
Agbai. Okay, yeah, nice.
You remember him? He played for Kansas.
Yep. Oh, is
He-
that guy?
yeah,
Interesting.
he was fucking good in college.
He was good in college, but really couldn't do anything but run the fast break. But he got me 13. I mean, honestly, for a stream, that's that's respectable. But Schroeder really fucked me over. It was a long shot anyway. I was down like 80 points going into today. You had one person playing. I was hoping to kind of sneak you and make some pickups without you noticing. But you made a pickup as well. I believe Yabusele was a pickup, or you just had him in your IR slot.
He was in my IR, and I had to drop Dayron Sharp, who I did stream for a game, and he got me 16. And he's
Nice.
been playing well.
Yeah.
But more confident what Yabusele can do. Also, if anybody's interested, Ben Simmons is available. I offered Corey a trade straight up of Ben Simmons for Matas Buzelis, who's been playing great since Zach LaVine was traded. Um, and I literally wanted to pick him up, forgot about it. Corey grabbed him. So
Um, all right, so let's move on with the agenda. I want to talk some diet and some workouts and then some other things that we've been doing. So how's your working out going, your weight loss program?
I'm down 6 in 6 weeks. So
6 in 6 weeks, you're right on track.
I'm on track.
Could have been down probably 15 if you didn't have that CC's run.
No, I mean CZ's put me so far back. Everything started over. I didn't weigh myself. I probably was farther up than when I started. I was probably 257 after that CC's Myrtle Beach trip. And then we went to Slim Chickens.
Ooh, yeah.
Good place.
Yeah.
You know Slim Chickens?
Yeah, I know some chickens.
You guys have one down there?
We had one in Fort Leonard Wood
Yeah,
on base.
really.
Yeah, and it was a hot spot.
I mean, I would probably put it above Zaxby's, below Huey Magoo's.
Above Zaxby's, really?
I've only been there once though, and it was great.
Yeah, that's tough.
So, and Zaxby's has been so reliable.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have one dish that's better than wings and things though. So maybe I'm going to retract what I said.
Yeah, that's tough.
The sauce was good though. Like I like the sauce there, and Wes got a really good milkshake. I panicked. Like there was like 8 sauces. I don't know how this turned into a fucking Slim Chickens ad, but um, there were like 8. There's probably like 15 sauces, and I'm looking. I'm like, okay, let me get the Slim sauce or whatever. And then I got gravy, and I was like, I wonder what that is. I wasn't expecting literal fucking gravy, like white gravy, like thick gravy,
Awesome.
white, hot white gravy.
Um, yeah, so how did we start
I
talking
don't know.
about a weight loss
Oh,
journey, then
because
talking
you,
about you
yeah,
just consuming white gravy?
because I got set back. And then I started over. So I'm doing that, and I had a setback with my feet this week. It was I could almost not walk at work.
Thing.
So I messaged my podiatrist and I said, "Yeah, my feet are fucking hurting. Do you have, more than telling me to watch a YouTube video and stretch?" And I sent it through the patient portal. A lot of doctors' offices have where you can speak directly to the clinical staff. They messaged me back immediately next day. I'm like, okay. Their message read like this: "We've received your message. We'll get back to you."
Nice.
Don't send me a fucking message. Just get back to me.
Yeah.
They call me the next day and they're like, Doctor so and so would like to put you on an anti inflammatory because basically it boils down to inflammation
Yeah.
and your bones are swelling. They said, "Are you okay with that?" And all I can say is, "Yeah, my feet hurt." So, yeah, send it to public so I can go get my shit.
Yeah. Um, you know, more pills. You know how I feel about the pills.
It's essentially just a beefed up ibuprofen, what they gave me,
Yeah.
because that's
Um,
all anti inflammatory. I also started, at your recommendation, 3 supplements. I started a men's multivitamin, which is kind of like an all-encompassing thing. Magnesium supplement, which is supposed to help with heart health, bone health, and muscle relaxation,
mhm.
which is at the root of what's happening. Basically, my calves are so tight that it's like a constant state of activity. And then I also did glucosamine supplements, which is, you ever heard of
Porosis.
osteobiflex
No, I've never heard of that.
or like joint juice?
Okay. No,
It, hungry?
a little.
It's basically just a supplement for joint health.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think some supplements included in a good healthy diet can benefit you, especially for things like joint health and then relaxation in the evenings to get better sleep. And I think, magnesium and stuff like that helps with blood flow as well. So, um, you know, hard ons. Maybe you need help in that category.
No, I'm doing all right with my erections, but I appreciate it.
That's good. I'm glad to
Um,
hear it.
fucking stupid. Um, I've also been intermittent fasting.
Okay. How you doing that?
Um, so pretty much I'll stop eating. Basically, you do a 12-hour fast every day at the
Yeah.
minimum. For me, it usually turns into like a 14-hour fast. I usually won't. I'll stop eating at 6, and then I won't eat till 8 or 9, which is it's pretty easy. You just don't have a big dinner. You stay within your calorie limits, and then you stop eating before bed. So you're burning that while you sleep. You wake up, you go to work for a couple hours, you drink some water. You're getting 2, 3 hours fasted because I work early, and then you get some food.
Yeah. I think that's definitely people do that. And I think it doesn't really matter what diet you're on as long as it's healthy, but the name of the game is, you know, eat less calories than you burn. I mean, that's how you lose weight. It's scientifically proven. There's all these different, diets and things that people say, oh, this will help you lose fat. And it's like you're not going to lose fat unless you eat less calories than you burn. It's just that's how it works.
It's not possible to lose weight unless you're in a calorie deficit. So
Right. Exactly.
scientific.
Um, me and Sam have been on this thing. We've been doing the wellness center pretty regularly. I haven't been a second time because I'm not as concerned with my body fat percentage and stuff like that. She's been going pretty regularly and seen some good improvements. So I'm definitely proud of her for doing that. But we're planning our meals, we're planning our workouts. We got some supplements that we're taking as well. So I'm doing fish oil, which helps with joint health, getting those omega-3s in, vitamin D3, um, which is kind of similar to magnesium, but it helps you during the day. It helps with like, blood flow and muscle. I can't remember what the thing told me, but I'm taking magnesium at night because it's supposed to help you like relax in the evening and sleep better. And then a probiotic that's supposed to help with like gut health. I think that's kind of important. Um, but yeah, I think I'm pretty excited for the little bit of a journey. I'm gonna do another wellness center checkup, which when I go to the wellness center, basically I go in the bod pod and they get my true height, true weight, and body fat percentage, and tell you how much lean muscle you have, how many calories you burn just being alive, and it's really easy to build your meal plan off of that because you know exactly how much you should be eating and stuff. So that's big time.
So
Um,
they're telling you your BMR, right? Your basal metabolic rate. That's what the
yes, your metabolic rate and like your maintenance calories to what you eat to stay exactly where you're at, and then what if you want to be in a surplus or a deficit. Obviously, Sam wants to be in a deficit. I want to be in a slight surplus. I don't want to gain weight necessarily. I kind of want to stay where I'm at, but I definitely don't want to lose weight. So I'm in a slight surplus.
So if you do a slight surplus, that gives you a little bit of a deviation if you're working harder.
For sure. Like if I'm actually burning more calories than I think I am, which I'm playing in a basketball league, I work out twice a day. On top of that, I'll do my workout for PT and then I'll go to the gym on my own. So that's 2 like full hours of working out before I even start the day. And then like at least twice a week I have a basketball game. So like I'm burning a lot of calories. Um, which is kind of crazy. So I'm trying to eat as much as I need is kind of a struggle. Honestly, like my maintenance calories right now are like 3,600.
Dude, I'm capping at 21.
Yeah. Sam eats like
So,
1,300 calories a day.
oh, I'd put a bullet in my skull if I had to do 13.
She's about there. She's about there. But
But also, my body could survive on what I have currently for probably 3 weeks. So
yeah. There's this thing I've been watching, uh, and I have mixed feelings about it. You know this guy, Gary Brecka? Have you heard about him?
I don't think so.
He's kind of been like he's been viral a few times talking about health and basically he's opened his own like wellness program and he's had some big name people go through him like big time CEOs and stuff. and he used to be a mortality expert for like insurance companies, health insurance companies, life insurance companies.
He used to
So
be he used to be a cuck.
yeah, basically he would look at these people's labs on paper and he would tell this insurance company, like, hey, they probably have, 10 years to live. You should probably not give them the full rate or whatever it may be. So he's like a human biologist by degree, I guess. So he definitely knows what he's talking about. Um, you should watch his TED. He does like a TED talk. It's not really a TED talk. It's more of like him at a conference. I think it's like 10X is the name of the conference he's at. And he really talks about like people with diseases like, you know, um, diabetes and depression and things like that. And one of the things he talks about with depression and anxiety is like depression is caused by a lack of serotonin being released in your body. And what happens is people that are depressed, they go to the doctor and they get all these pills, but these pills don't actually raise the serotonin levels in your body, which is the root cause of why you're depressed.
No, it
Um,
blocks other things to
but
level
it
you up.
blocks everything too. So
Beta
um,
blockers.
yeah, and he's talking about, there's things you can do to raise your serotonin levels naturally. One of the things is like being in the sunshine, which I know I'm a big advocate for, but also taking like a vitamin D supplement to just get more vitamin D in your system, which helps you release those natural serotonin levels. Um, I think he has good information, but at the same time, I think you got to be wary a little bit because he's definitely a salesman trying to sell like a product. So
I'm on his site right now.
he has this theory called 30 30 30, and it's like a diet, one of the trendy diets. And he talks about, you know, uh, 30 grams of protein within 30 minutes of waking, followed by 30 minutes of steady state cardio. And I think the premise behind it is good. You wake up, you get a high protein meal without a bunch of extra stuff. And then you go into some steady state cardio, which is not like going for a long run where your heart rate's in. It's your heart rate at or under 135. So you're really not burning. You're not your energy source that you're using is not lean muscle. It should be fat. So you should be burning fat instead of lean muscle. Um, but what he fails to talk about is that you can do that every single day. But then if you go and eat like crap for the rest of the day, you're still not going to lose weight because it's scientifically you have to be in a calorie deficit.
Yeah, I mean, that people like to hop on all these trends and stuff, and all those things can work. And maybe what he's saying promotes or is conducive to being in a calorie deficit. But that's what you have to explain to people, that people are always so anti-calorie counting. And, maybe that's not the way to do it for you, but as long as you understand these foods are lower in calorie, higher in protein, that's what's going to get you to where you need to be in the deficit. I mean, for me, I have to count them. It's easier for me that way. My brain is more analytical like that. I understand people don't like doing that. It feels too restrictive, but if you eat like a jerk off all day, you're going to keep being a fat piece of shit. So I've done that for 10 years.
Right,
I understand what needs to be done. And that's the funny thing about it, is it's so simple.
right.
It's
It's
so
not
simple.
it's not rocket surgery.
It's not transgender surgery. All right.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I think you should give it a listen. Type in YouTube Gary Brecka TED Talk and just listen to it. I think he does have some good points, but you got to remember that he's a salesman at heart. So um take it with a grain of salt. But but let's move unless you got anything else on that.
Uh, no,
Okay. All
no,
right, let's
I'll listen to it though.
yeah, you should listen to it. So I've been listening to this podcast called The Journal, and it's pretty good information, I think, and talks about just like current events and stuff. And one of the things that's kind of a hot topic right now is like Trump and placing some tariffs on not US, we are the US, on Mexico, Canada, and China. And basically it's tariffs for goods coming into the US. And the basis for tariffs, I think, are in place them so we can support US industry and then have companies produce our own goods here in America versus getting them imported, which I think overall is a good thing. But I feel like he's using them as threats to stop like illegal immigration. He's placing this tariff on Mexico, saying like this tariff is going to be placed on you, which he's saying is 25% if illegal immigration doesn't stop, kind of deal. Same thing with Canada. He's saying like this fentanyl production is happening and coming through the Canadian border. Like until this stops, like I'm going to place a 25% tariff on you. China's a whole different story. I think there's more underlying reasons that he's trying to do that with China. But um,
I
you
have,
know,
I have opinions if you want them
well, yes, 100%. I do want them.
right now. I'll
Yeah.
give.
All right.
So based on my research on it, um, it's 100% a negotiating tactic,
Yeah.
which in the broad spectrum of things, I'm not against doing that kind of thing. Typically, you don't do it with your allies, and especially countries that are neighboring you. And also, the tariffs have not been put in place yet,
Yeah.
um, because we're in like a month long or 3 month long negotiating period. And the things that Mexico and Canada have given as concessions were already going to be done. They were already negotiated. So they he in my opinion, he created a problem. There was already a solution. He acted like the solution was his, and it's a win for the Trump campaign.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and a lot of people who aren't, who take everything at face value might not know that. They might not look it up. They might not feel like they need to. They're just like, okay, this is a good thing. And if you're not inclined to look things up and you want to feel like that's good, that's your right as an American. You do whatever you want. Um, I've been pretty well informed about a lot of stuff. I've done a lot of research on stuff. I, I don't think it made much sense. I mean, as far as the tariffs on China, I know that they're 10%, and he's already walked back any tariffs on products under $800. So I don't. What have we gained from it other than pissing off Canada, who is
Yeah.
one of our strongest allies, and Mexico's another ally.
Yeah.
There is issues with Mexico. I mean, with gang stuff and bringing illegal drugs in the country. That's 100% a real thing, and that needs to be taken care of. But you didn't get anything new. You got 10,000 people coming to the border who are already coming to the border. It was already going to happen.
Yeah.
So I don't think we got anything out of it other than looking like assholes,
I
which
think
some people enjoy.
I think, what he got out of it was, the social media aspect that got released. Oh, he's doing things, he's making things happen, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's part of the reason why it did happen. Because it is in like a pause for negotiations. Um, but if this does get in place, like I understand why tariffs can be good and it brings that business back to the US.
The theory is American manufacturers will produce stuff because it'll be cheaper to do that than
Right.
buy it from overseas. But the the issue is if we continue, if it's not cheaper, like say it's the 25% tariff, say it's still not cheaper for American companies to manufacture stuff, then the tariff is passed on to the consumer.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna go
So
with.
I understand the theory, but I don't know if the math works out that way.
think ultimately it would work out if this was in place for a long period of time
down the
uh,
road.
down the road. But in the short term, what's going to come from it is like the price of meat, the price of cars, the price of just everyday things that we buy is just going to skyrocket. Like, especially if it's, you know, every single time it crosses borders. So something like uh, cars, for instance, like a car manufacturing company could potentially cross borders multiple times. And that's a 25% tariff every single time it crosses the border. So we're talking about cars, which are already, the price is already ridiculous, potentially going up even more.
And there's
And
a
then,
lot of car manufacturing in Mexico. So
yeah, exactly. So that's just something I thought was very interesting that is taking place
I
right now.
I do have something I want to say based on, like it looks good on social media, him doing stuff. Um, I don't agree with a lot of stuff he's done, but he's doing exactly what he said he was going to
He
do.
is doing what he said he was going to do.
It's the reason I voted against him. But he's doing stuff which I think that, you know, makes him good in the eyes of the people who voted for him. They're like, okay, I voted for him to do things.
For sure.
And it's been 3 weeks, and now granted, I don't like what he's doing, but he's doing stuff.
He is doing it. He
So
said he was going to do it, and he's
he
doing it.
said he was going to do this shit, and I was like in my head, please don't do this. But he's doing it. So, and that is gonna be hard for people to have honest discourse with each other when they think he's okay, he's doing what he said he was going to do. Now, if you agree if it's good or not for America, totally different thing. But he's in there and he's doing stuff.
Yeah.
And shout out to Mike. Me and him have had a lot of political talks. We're both very different. And I think it should be like this. You should be able to talk to each other without calling each other names or getting
For
mad at
sure.
each other. Me and Mike have talked at length. Like if you saw our text message, you'd be like, Jesus, both of these guys are psychotic. And it's probably true.
Yeah, there's a couple things that have happened. Um, some I agree with, some I don't agree with. I'm still, the whole DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion thing. That's a hard one because I understand where they're coming from in terms of DEI being inherently racist. However, it gives the opportunity for people to be inherently racist again in their hiring practices.
Yeah,
Um,
if you get rid of it, and like DEI is a buzzword now.
right.
Like the ADA Act, Americans with Disability Act, is DEI.
Yeah.
Like it's diversity, equality, inclusion. Like there's nothing wrong with those things. Now, if you're hiring someone specifically because they're black, or if there's an incentive
Yeah.
for a company to hire somebody a certain way or a quota, I'm not for that.
Yeah, I'm not for that either. And I think that was the premise behind it. I do think that was the premise behind it. And now, because of DEI policies being in place, you couldn't hire the most qualified person all the time.
That's the theory.
That's the theory, right? And that's the theory behind it. Is it going to be practiced the way the theory plays out? I don't know. We're just gonna have to see.
And that's the tough thing for someone who like me who's so opinionated and you know, I do have a political bias. That's not like everybody has theirs.
yeah,
It's hard to go. It's only been 3 weeks.
yeah,
You know, he's done all this shit, and I'm in my head. Alarm bells are going off. But whatever. What the fuck can we do?
yeah. I do like, I think we've talked about this before, that um, I can't think of the actual phrase, but
Declassified?
no, 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 well, that, yes, but in terms of the cartels in Mexico,
Oh, where he made them terrorist organizations,
terrorist organizations that the US Army could have, like,
like lethal force type shit.
correct. Yeah.
I'm for that. I
I'm
mean,
for that too.
I think that's a good thing. I mean, there's no reason for cartels or Mexican gang organizations to come to America for any reason.
For sure. 100% agree with that. And
I think that's a good thing, and I think what better or worse that people won't fuck with him.
yeah, I don't think they're gonna fuck with them. what I don't want to happen is this to turn into some almost like Vietnam situation, where we're going in and like into their territory and just doing patrols, and then they're like setting booby traps and doing all this stuff where, you know, we could just we really need to be focusing on, like, the military needs to be focusing on the next like near peer threat. The cartels are not a near peer. Like, we need to be focusing on that next large scale battle that's going to happen versus
Near peer like China.
right peers of the US, China, Russia, Iran. I know people don't want to say like Iran's a peer, but in terms of the military strength, like,
Well,
they are
nuclear
considered
strength, right? Like they have
nuclear
nuclear
strength. Yeah,
power.
exactly.
And that's
Even
really like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's really like the ultimate, leveling or equalizer.
right, and that's kind of where I think our focus needs to be on. Instead of sending special forces groups down to Mexico to control this cartel situation, I think, if we're going to go in there to this cartel situation, just send a couple Air Force units and completely level their compounds. Like, let's do that. Let's don't
I mean,
put boots on the
yeah,
ground.
I don't, my thing, that I don't want Americans to die for some, well, and then you can use the theory that Americans are dying anyway because of what they're bringing into the country, which is
True.
true. But I mean, what's the National Guard for, right? Like, is that something they can do?
National Guard, yes. I mean, they can be deployed anywhere in the world. They are not combat equipped like a special forces group is. They're the special forces groups, the Navy SEALs, they're the most elite organizations in the world. It's no secret. If we send a special forces group down to fight a cartel that probably isn't even properly trained on how to use their primary weapon system, like, it would be bad.
And also, I don't think that's something that we need to be doing. We don't need to be going into another country and essentially waging war. We just need to keep them out of here.
Yeah, which,
And I'm sure there's a bunch of theories on how you can do that. I'm not a fucking military mind.
I know. I know you think. I'm sure you know Trump's way to do that.
No
Say
comment. No comment.
it. um. All right, but let's move on. I want to talk about this situation that happened at my house. So, my neighbor to my backyard. I don't think they're going to listen to this, so I'm not worried about it. But they have a dog. The dog stays outside a lot, which is whatever. People have their way of handling their pets. It was on a pretty, like, probably a 20-foot leash. Stayed outside a lot. Chewed through the leash. Had been in my yard a bunch. Didn't say anything because it really didn't bother me. The dog is very sweet, gentle. Um, but then that happened, so they got the dog like probably a 6-foot chain that it stays in the backyard, and he's outside a lot. When it was cold, he was outside. They brought him in for the nighttime. But like the past like 6 days, he's been out day and night, like not come inside. And like, Sammy's at home. Sammy's very much a dog advocate. So she was concerned because we hadn't even seen them out there giving them food or water. So she was concerned. I wasn't super involved. She reached out to this girl she knows that's like a dog advocate in the community, asking basically if someone could just go by, make sure these people are still even living there, and be like, hey, do you need some assistance? Are you still wanting the dog? Would you like to foster it? And that was the extent of what we wanted to happen. Us not really knowing this girl, Sammy sent her a couple pictures, stuff like that. Well, this girl called animal control, called the police, made a Facebook post,
Oh,
posted the pictures that we sent clearly from our backyard, and which was not cool. She did not ask our permission for any of this. She didn't ask if that's how we wanted to handle it, because it was absolutely, I did not want police rolling up to their house. Any of that. So this whole thing blew up. I guess the cop went over there, showed them the Facebook post. They think we made it. They come over to our house, banging on the door. I'm not home. So I'm listening to it through the Ring camera. They're like beating on the door, be like, come out and talk to me, blah, blah, blah. And So, I'm like, all right, I'm about to go over there and talk to them. I go over there. Sammy's with me. She's behind me. Uh, he answers the door, gun in his hand, um, pissed off. And, you know, I, I'm pretty good at de-escalating situations. I feel like I keep things pretty calm. I let him kind of yell for about 30 seconds and then, talk to him. I'm like, look, first, uh, I just want to apologize for how the situation went down. We did not want it to be escalated to this situation. Doesn't mean I agree with how you're treating your dog, because I don't. I think the dog's being neglected a little bit. And, he got a little defensive about that. And I was like, look, that's just my opinion. It's your dog, it's your property. That's all I can do and all I can say. I should have just came over here and talked to you adult to adult about it in the first place. And I didn't do that. And I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. But we at no point in time, we're going to call the police, make a Facebook post showing your property, blah, blah, blah. Situation calmed down, blah, blah, blah. We ended up having a good conversation. And it was way less heated after a few minutes, but dude, it got kind of wild there for a little bit.
That is crazy.
It was nuts. It was honestly like pretty nuts.
Is he bigger than you?
Um, he's a big guy, not in the best shape, but he's a big dude. And he was mad. Which I would be mad too. I'm not gonna lie. I would be mad too. So he was justified in his anger in terms of pictures of his house was posted on Facebook. There was like 20 something shares, like 80 comments of people like, send the address, we'll go steal the dog, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, am I gonna have to have like shoot somebody that comes in my yard? Like, so I get that. And those feelings are justified for sure. But like the problem was this girl doing this all on her whim. She did this. She didn't ask us if this is what we wanted. We did not give her permission to post those pictures. So the whole situation was extremely blown out of proportion, and ultimately wound up with us having to deal with it, which we didn't want to deal with it at all in the first place. I just wanted to make sure they were home and actually feeding the dog. That's all I wanted. Should I have just went and knocked on the door? Probably yes. But what does that look like? Me going over to this dude's house, being like, "Hey man, looks like you're neglecting your dog. Um, are you good?" He probably would have got pretty defensive at that. Um, and like I said, I wasn't really involved with the situation at first. It was Sammy's the one that's at home. She's the one that sees everything. So she made a judgment call, which I stand by her, and I think she did the right thing. She just wanted to make sure the dog was being taken care of, and
That person who's like a quote unquote dog advocate is a psychopath.
she's nuts.
Um, that would, I mean, I would have, done what you did and talked to the guy too, but I would go absolutely ballistic on that person.
Yeah, I got Sammy to message her. I was like, look, we didn't give you permission to post these pictures, so like you need to take the Facebook post down right now, or we will figure out a way to get the post taken down. Basically saying I would like pursue some form of legal action, um, because we didn't give her permission to use our photographs.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally just throwing you under the bus.
Absolutely, and it was posted like it was clearly our back porch that these pictures were posted from.
Did she take it down?
She took it down. Yeah.
Did she apologize?
Yes. Not really a good apology. She was just like, this is how things get done. And I was just like, that's not what I want to hear from you right now. Just don't speak to us again. But
Yeah, she's a dumb bitch, honestly. Are you cool with that guy?
I mean, cool enough, but everything's good. Like I said, the situation calmed down a lot and we had like a good conversation. And he was like, I appreciate the concern for the animal. Like, I do, I in no terms want any animals to be harmed. uh People handle their pets differently. Different environments, people grow up different ways. uh not all animals have 4 dog beds in the house and, get all this stuff. So people grow up with a different way of how animals should be treated, and that's okay as long as the dog's basic needs are being met. I'm cool with, but it is what it is.
That's crazy. I'm like
But it
sweating.
was, yeah, it was wild. You should going over there, um, because like when he came over to the ring camera, it did look like he had like something in his pocket. So I was like a little on edge when I went over there because I'm knocking on this dude's door that I don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah, I had it. Um, keep that thing on me, you know what I mean? I mean, obviously I wasn't gonna shoot him on his front porch, but um
Well, it sounds like he wanted to shoot you. So
I think it was just a scare tactic. I don't think anybody's really about that action. You know what I mean? Just like basketball, everybody talks about they're going to fight. Nobody really fights. But
a little different when someone's got a gun.
we're about to get cut off. So let's jump into a commercial. This is a sponsored message by Mike Jinks and the AW Foundation to always keep that thing on you.
And we're back. Special shout out to the BW Foundation.
Yeah, BW.
BW. Because
Um,
where I come from, the motherfucking port, I got Jack Johnson and Tom O'Leary waiting for you.
yeah. I think I don't know if you quite have that. You might have to come up with different nicknames for those. Maybe the Paul Skeens and Livy Dunn.
Okay. Okay. The I got Salt and Pepper.
Peppa with an A, no
Pepper.
ER.
What
Um,
are you doing?
I'm just saying. You said
What
Peppa.
are you, what are you doing?
Oh Christ! All right, so let's talk random questions. First random question I want to talk about is who is the best one-on-one player of all time?
That I've played against or like
No, no,
basketball?
no. Just the best one-on-one player of all time.
Like you need to go get a bucket.
If you have anybody in the history of the world that you're gonna pick to win a one-on-one game against anybody else in the history of the world.
Oh, that's tough because you can go LeBron, size, speed. You could go MJ, probably the most skilled offensive player ever. KD, Kobe, which is basically carbon copy Michael, just not as good. Larry Bird, Jokic, Dirk, those type of guys aren't going to do well in a one-on-one setting because they're not going to be able to guard anybody. Um,
But naming
Steph,
the game is putting the ball in the basket more times than the other guy.
nobody can guard them either. So
Correct.
yeah, and I think kind of depends on the rules. If it's make it, take it,
No,
and
make it take it. No, make it
no
take
make
it.
it, take it. Then I think you have to go with a guy who can guard and score. I'm going to take LeBron out of it because no one will be able to stop him, but he'll have some issues on defense with quicker guys. Um, I'll I'll go MJ. Fuck it, and I'm not. I mean, hurts me to say that, but I mean, team basketball. There's a lot more things going on. One on one. I mean, second best basketball player of all time. I'll take him.
Okay, taking MJ.
I
You
do think
say,
Kobe was a better defender, though. I will say
yeah,
that.
I think, you say MJ was the most skilled offensive player of all time. And I think at that time he was. Uh, I think
Fair.
the
Fair.
the league nowadays, there's probably 40 people in the league that are more skilled than MJ was. Or, yeah, than MJ was, just because of the way the game has evolved. Maybe not 40, 15 though.
Yeah, but
Um,
also you got to think about, do they have that athletic acumen that he has?
true, true. Um, I think Kobe beats MJ in one-on-one. I think Kobe is better at, for one, shooting. Uh, I think Kobe is MJ. Just if Kobe was in MJ's era, I think he would have been just as good. Um,
Interesting
but
argument.
yep. KD, I think it's if he wants to put the ball in the basket, there's really nothing you can do about it. But my pick, I think, is Melo.
Oh yeah, yep. Well, actually, that's good. Top 10 scorer all time. Great rebounder. So you're not getting any offensive boards. Well, that's another thing. Is it you miss possession over or
I think generally you miss possession over, yeah. But I think Melo can do it all. He can back you down. He can stretch out to the 3-point line. He's got a good enough handle to take you off the dribble. He's a big body. He can play defense, especially younger. We're talking like last few years with the Nuggets, first few years with the Knicks. Um, I think he's definitely one of the best one-on-one players of all time, and he's my pick. If I need somebody to win a one-on-one game, I'm going Melo.
that's solid. I mean, you're talking about probably, and if you know, he's played power forward in his career, but he's a small forward.
Mhm.
Potentially strongest small forward ever offensively mid post.
Yeah,
You can't get him off his spot. It's
no,
not possible.
it's impossible. Yeah.
If he catches the ball 15 to 19 feet, chalk it up to a bucket.
Yeah, some other people I was thinking about were T Mac.
Sure. Yeah.
I think he's definitely up there with just being able to literally create any shot.
Young
Um,
Grant.
yeah, young Grant Hill. He was prototype one. Um, I think KD is definitely up there.
Well, just no one can stop him. Even now, he's older. He still can't be stopped.
Right.
And also, you can think about guys like Steph, but he's going to be hurt on defense.
He
He
can't
won't
guard
guard
anybody.
anybody.
Right.
Same thing with Kyrie. He won't be able to guard anybody. AI won't be able to guard anybody.
Right.
Or I mean, you could potentially go Shaq or
Yeah.
or Akeem. I mean, nobody can stop them.
Right. They could literally back down from the 3-point line every single time. So yeah, I mean, those are definitely valid
But
options.
with it being no make it take it, I think it lends itself more to the 2 to 4 range.
Yeah.
Uh, I like Katie. I like Mello as a choice.
Yeah. Okay. We're going Mellow. All right, you're up.
Last time you'll ever catch me defending fucking MJ.
All right. Your question.
I have a great question, but I want it to be my second question.
Okay.
Um, so I'm just gonna hit you with a bullshit question.
Okay.
If you were asked by a friend to move a washer dryer combo, um, and you get there, you get the washer installed, you guys are installing the dryer, and you find out that the cord doesn't match
Mm.
the plug-in after both of y'all were told that they did, would you be more mad at them or more mad at yourself for not confirming beforehand?
We're talking about extreme ownership, right? I
Right.
mean,
Okay.
you know, trust but verify. Always trust but verify. So, like, definitely part of the fault falls on the person that told you it would fit. But before making that effort to move the things into the room where you're going to install, you probably should look. But that's a hard situation because most of the time you're like, hey, come install this, everything's good, I checked the hookups, we're good to go. And ultimately the fault has to be placed on yourself, but I could see where you could blame the other person.
And then they make 3 to 4 adapters, 4 to 3 adapters where you can just plug it in, plug it in the wall. We go to Lowe's, I buy one, but it's the wrong amp conversion.
Mm,
That's on me for sure.
that one's on you. Yeah.
And they didn't have it in stock at Lowe's anyway. So they had to order it off Amazon.
Mm,
You get here in 3 days and they'll be able to do that part themselves because me and Drew got everything else hooked up.
right.
But it's like it's one of those things where I'm like, really nobody checked the plugs. And
Yeah.
it's not Drew because Drew was told that the plugs were checked.
That's tough. Yeah, that's definitely tough. All right, so random question number two. Say your spouse has something going on and they need some sort of blood transplant, and you guys just have the right mixed to where the blood that you have, you can give blood to your spouse? You give blood to your spouse, does that make you blood related?
No,
What is it? What if it's a significant amount of blood?
no. That would make them me, and I'm attracted to myself. So
All right, all right.
fuck,
Just figured I'd ask the question.
fuck me, you know.
Hey, literally. Do you know what blood type you have?
You know, truthfully, I'm not really sure. I'm really not sure. I want to say O. That's like the most common, right?
Mm,
Or
it's
that's
the
the one that
one.
can accept anything.
Well, there's O positive, O negative. O positive can accept everything. I could be getting these mixed up, but O positive can accept any form of blood. O negative can be the universal donor.
Okay.
So I'm O negative, but I think knowing what blood type you have is generally a good thing that I don't think a lot of people know.
No, I don't know. I've given plenty of blood as far as like
Like Red
in.
Cross type thing.
Oh no, no. Just at the doctor's office, like for tests and shit.
Oh yeah.
I've never given blood that way because I couldn't do it early in high school when we do the blood drive because I was on Accutane.
Oh yeah.
You weren't allowed to, and I did it senior year. I don't know if you remember this. They did the finger prick and where they squeeze your thing and then they get a little thing and they put it on to test your blood type.
Yeah.
And they kept, squeezing the blood out of the tip of my finger. And then I got super queasy and like basically passed out. Didn't
Nice.
end up giving blood. They gave me a Sprite.
Nice. You can't watch.
That's the
When
problem. I was staring right at it, just watching the blood come out of my finger.
Yeah, you can't watch. When I went to basic training, the first week is what's called reception, and you have to like get all these medical tests done. They give you all these shots, blah blah blah. And like at this point, we're basically being um like assembly lined through this blood area where we're all giving blood. And they put us in a chair, put the thing around your arm to make your veins pop, and they start drawing blood. And the dude next to me, passes out, like falls out of his chair, but he's strapped into the chair, so he's like literally hanging off the chair with this needle in his arm. And then normally they stop, they would stop, take the thing out, and make sure he's good, but the doctor was like, no, just keep taking it, keep taking it. So this kid is just dangling off the chair, just getting blood taken from his arm. It was so crazy. And me sitting next to him, I'm just like, I hope this doesn't happen to me. But that was pretty wild.
Fuck that.
Yeah, they don't give no fucks.
All right. My last question is about Epic Bar Tab.
Okay.
Have you and Sammy had any kind of thoughts on where you guys are going to go?
Yeah, we're going Saturday night. We're using it as our Valentine's Day Epic Bar Tab, and we're going to this place called Mobella's. That's a really nice like Italian steakhouse where we're at.
Or last year, right?
We went there last year. Yeah, used Epic Bar Tab for it last year. It's
I rem-
super good. Um,
that was one of our first episodes. I remember that.
yeah, and we're just gonna ball out. Like even if we go over the Epic Bar Tab, like then it's $100 dinner for
Yeah.
like balling out.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's what
gonna
we're doing.
me. I don't know if you remember, but me, Marissa, Drew, Casey went last year
Hmm.
to Steam, which is inside a hotel,
Yeah,
and we're going to this new place downtown called Room 40. You ever heard of it?
I haven't.
Yeah, so it's Room 40. I think it's like Italian fusion. Um, it's supposed to be really good, but we'll see. The name is kind of strange. I don't know.
Room 40.
Room for these nuts in your mouth.
God damn it. Oh man. All right. Well, that was a good episode. We'll be back next week.
You didn't bite initially. Like I wanted like the first time I said it, I wanted you to confirm the name. So I was like, I'm not gonna get him. So I was like spitballing on the type of restaurant it was, trying
Italian
some kind of
fusion.
so it's the first thing that came in my head. I was like, I don't know what the fuck. Where am I gonna go with
Yeah.
this?
You're a real piece of shit. I don't know if you know that. That's funny.
I sleep well at night.
Yeah.
That's
Especially with
actually nice.
these magnesium supplements, you'll be
Right to
sleeping good.
bed.
Oh man. Are you actually going to a place called Room 40 or are you not?
No, no. We're still deciding on where we're going.
You're a piece of shit. How long you been thinking about that?
Since Saturday.
Since Saturday. Somebody get you with it or did it just pop up?
Drew tried to get me with it.
Oh,
He got Wes with it.
fuck.
He was like, it was actually his idea to get you, but he was like, it would be weird if I called Trey, like, because I don't like call him like that. So
Right, right.
yeah. And I was like, yeah, we talk on the phone some, but I know we're doing the pod on Sunday. I'll get him on the pod.
He probably would have got me because like he would have called and been like, "Hey, have you heard of that new place, Room 40?" And I'd have been like, "Room 40?" And then he would have got me. Um, that's good stuff. I'm gonna go from the third floor to the first floor the fast way.
Oh, good times.
Oh man. All right. Well, Pat's peeves. Um, my first Pat's peeve is we were getting drinks last night, actually. Me and Sam were getting drinks. We're at this like rooftop bar area, really nice, really good drinks. They have gender neutral bathrooms, and I'm having to wait for the bathroom because there's two of them, and both people were in both, and the guy comes out of the one. I go in after him. Seats down. So you walk in after somebody in the bathroom and the seats down. You think they just like blew it up. So of course I'm like, ah, crap. All right, and then I look at the sink or the seat, and there's piss all over it. I'm like, if you're taking a piss in a toilet, just put the seat up. Like, what are we doing? This is a gender neutral bathroom. There's going to be a girl that has to come in here, and there's going to be piss all over the seat.
Um, no, it's a one person bathroom.
One person bathroom, exactly. No urinal, just the toilet.
Now, I agree, it's disgusting. But if you go to like say you're at a movie theater style situation, four urinals, four stalls.
Yep,
Urinals are taken. You go to piss in a stall. Are you lifting the seat up then?
every time.
I never do that in a public bathroom, ever.
I just
I,
kick. I
I
put up
also
my foot. I kick
I
it.
also I also don't piss all over the seat.
Correct. I mean, that's the basis for it. And sure, like maybe it was like that when he went in, but after I go in and I take my foot and I kick the seat up like a fucking normal person.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That'll be our poll for the day. And everybody, if you listen to it, vote in the fucking poll. I
Yeah,
know at
vote.
least 8 people listen. There better be 8 goddamn votes.
Yeah.
And that will be the question. If you go to a public restaurant, public restroom, do you lift up the seat?
Yeah, and you should lift up the seat, especially if there's the potential for a female to be going in after you.
In that situation, I would agree with you.
Yes. It's a
Normally, though, I don't.
it is a little different if you're in a men's bathroom and four urinals, four stalls. Yes, that is different. Um, but there's two bathrooms, gender neutral. There was a girl behind me in line. She very well could have went to that stall next. But yeah, just lift the seat up. Pat's peeve.
That's fucked up. And then that puts it on you in a situation where you have to clean his piss.
No, I just lift the seat up. And then when I come out of the bathroom, it's like, hey, this dude just took a piss because the seat's up. I'm not putting the seat back down.
Girl flips seat down, still got piss all over it. She
No,
just sits in pee. That's your fault.
absolutely not.
Extreme ownership, King.
extreme ownership, she should have taken the initiative to wipe the piss off the seat.
So you're just passing on extreme ownership? Is that how extreme ownership works?
My extreme ownership is lifting up the seat, doing my due diligence. I'm not wiping somebody else's piss. If I had to go in there and shit, I just wouldn't have shit unless it was an emergency.
Oh, I've had to wipe people's piss off seats before because
I've had to do that too, and it's disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Sammy's behind you. You wiping the piss off the seat?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not going to be happy about it, but I'm going to do it.
Okay. All right.
And
Marissa's behind you. You wiping the piss off the seat?
probably not.
Whoa. Oh, dude. That's my pet peeve. You're not cleaning the piss off the seat for my wife.
It's not my wife. Extreme ownership. Go in there and clean the piss before your wife takes a piss.
Oh, Christ. All right.
You got a Pat's peeve or no?
I don't think I do. I had a pretty good week.
Okay, I got one more Pat's peeve and then a closing comment. Second Pat's peeve, people who read PowerPoint slides instead of briefing them.
You mean like they read directly off the slide instead of knowing what's on the slide?
Yeah, so like I had to sit in this presentation and this lady was giving a brief and the PowerPoint slide pops up and she just turns around and looks at the board and just like reads for 30 seconds each time the slide pops up and is like, I can read the slide. That's why the words are on there. I want you to talk to me. I want you to brief me. I don't want you to read me the slide. I can read.
And you said it was a woman?
It was a woman, yes.
Probably DEI.
Definitely DEI. All right. Closing comment. I've been in this basketball league. My games have been largely at 7:00. The gym closes at 8. So I'm walking out as the gym's closing. But this gym is 24 hours. So like people line up at 8:00 until they can get let in with their 24-hour access. They have to like close the whole facility down before it turns into 24/7. And this student I had has been seeing me walk out of the gym like the past 3 games I've had. And then I see him at work the next day and he's like, "Are you playing in like a basketball league or something like that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh yeah, that tracks. Okay. I could see you as like a Jim Halbert kind of guy."
Jim Halpert was ass.
That's what I said. I was like, I'm offended. For one, I'm much better looking. I don't care if he won best looking person or whatever the fuck.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. You're not better looking than John Krasinski.
Yes, I am.
You're better than him at basketball.
100% better than basketball. Less funny. I'll give him that.
You'll give him that. You're not even top 10 funny in the group of 8 people. Boom. Roasted.
Yeah, according to you. According to me, I'm hilarious.
That's the sound of nobody laughing at your stupid ass. See what I just did there? That was funny.
No, that wasn't funny. We're laughing because we feel bad for you.
You've had to get by on good looks. I've had the luxury of being extremely handsome and very funny. You wouldn't understand.
Those two don't typically correlate.
I'm not a typical guy.
No, you're sure as fuck not. But yeah.
Did you tell him you were offended?
Yeah, I told him I was offended.
Who was the guy that was like surprisingly good in that episode?
Nah, I wouldn't know.
It was somebody who, like they thought Stanley was good because he was black.
Right. DEI.
I don't think you're using that correctly.
No.
Who was it?
Was it Pam's husband?
No, I mean I think he was down there playing and he was good, but it's not him. It's someone who was like goofy. It wasn't
Yeah.
Dwight.
No, it can't be Dwight.
Oh, it was Kevin.
Really?
Yeah, the guy, the math guy who was like
Right.
It was him. He was like draining everything.
Interesting.
That guy in real life, I don't know if you've ever seen any interviews he's done. He's like really got like a lot of sports knowledge. Is like really fucking funny.
Interesting. Is he talking like the same like monotone?
No, it doesn't talk like that at all. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that's funny. That's good stuff. Yeah, but that's about all I got. So we'll wrap up episode 68.
I might share this one on Facebook.
Just fucking vote in the poll.
Vote in the poll. Follow us on YouTube. We have 4 YouTube subscribers. We should have at least 7.
At least 7.
At Sammy and Marissa's Husband's Pod. Like all of our shit. The only person who listens on YouTube is Ed. Shout out Ed.
Yeah, shout out Ed. Maybe we'll get Ed some video. Maybe we'll start releasing the video so he can look at our handsome faces.
I will say, let me read to you a conversation I had with Ed. This will be my closing comment. I know we're cutting it kind of close, but I feel like it's worth saying. Ed texted me. This is after Syracuse got blown out by 30. The game after Carolina got blown out by 30 by the Duke Blue Devils, Blue Cucks. He said, "Sorry about them Duke boys handling your team last night." I said, "What did I ever do to deserve that?" He texted me out of the blue. Haven't talked to him in 2 weeks. What do you mean, dude? I'll send out an apology. I want to make you feel a little better. I know how important my words are to you. So Ed is a police officer. I said name and badge number. I need to speak to the supervisor. He said Cooper flag, badge number 1. I said he's a beta white. His words were, if he was wearing a Syracuse uniform, you'd be beating off to his highlights before bed.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, I said you're not wrong. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that's some good insight right there because he is absolutely not wrong. Probably the same for me.
He'd look good in Carolina blue, except Carolina fans are annoying. Anyway.
Yeah, we don't really want to talk about that team from Durham.
Yeah, you guys are fucking stains.
Fuck. All right, dude. Well, it's been real. I'll catch you next time.
All right. D Hop 4 catches.
Not a chance.
All right.
Not a chance. All right, see ya.